The film opens 4 years after dinosaurs have been set loose on the mainland as humans have had to cooperate with their existence. The Mosasaurus is seen pulling a fishing boat down after grabbing its cage of fish in its jaws. Many people have died from dino-related incidents, and while many think that dinosaurs should be killed, others have found a way in the black market to illegally sell and distribute captured dinosaurs. The government hands the reins to Biosyn Genetics, a company led by Lewis Dodgson, with the promise to keep the dinosaurs held at a sanctuary in Italy's Dolomite Mountains to further research them for pharmaceutical purposes. News coverage also notes that Macy Lockwood has disappeared after her true nature as a clone was made aware at a facility in Nevada. Claire Deering and Zia Rodriguez smuggle a baby dinosaur from a Biosyn lab. They join Franklin Webb as they escape in a van, but security guards chase after them until the three manage to lose them. Franklin and Zia tell Claire they can no longer keep this type of work up, and while they support Claire in her endeavors, they are moving on to jobs that are safer for them somewhere near the Snowy Mountains in Nevada. Owen Grady is riding a horse in order to deal with a large dinosaur. Once finished with that, he goes back to the cabin that he shares with Claire and Macy, as he and Claire are now her adoptive parents. Although Macy likes to stray from home and witness the dinosaurs on land, Claire and Owen try to keep her hidden for fear that someone is after her. This causes her to get irritated with them, and she also has become curious about Charlotte Lockwood, whom she was cloned from. Soon enough, mercenaries led by Rain Delacourt are spying on them in the woods, Macy being their target. Not far from the cabin, Blue the raptor has asexually reproduced a child, who Macy later names Beta. They go and hunt a rabbit together, while Blue helps Beta in fighting another dino who is trying to grab their kill. In Texas, 2 children are chased by a massive swarm of locusts. This is brought to the attention of paleobotanist Ellie Sadler. She investigates the farm where the locusts attacked and ate up all the crops. Ellie is told by the children's mother that the neighboring crops, which were untouched by the locust, are planted by Biosyn. Ellie reunites with Dr. Alan Grant, who is working with other aspiring paleontologists. She brings a capture locust to him and explains the situation, fearing that if they spread they may wreck the food chain. Alan and Ellie figure that Biosyn must have made them. Ellie decides to get now from another locust at the Biosyn sanctuary to prove her point, and ask for Alan's help. She was already invited by their old friend Dre and Malcolm Jeff Goldblum. Despite Blue and Beta come upon Alan, Claire, and Macy, they're all surprised to see Blue having become a mother. The mercenaries soon make their move and capture Beta. Macy rides her bike across the bridge and is also taken by the villains. Owen sees this and gets Claire to go after them. Claire says she knows who can help them. Claire contacts Franklin, who now works for the CIA. He helps them get info on Delacourt and points them to Owen's former co-worker at Jurassic World, Barry Sabine, who can help take them to wherever the mercenaries are taking Macy and Beta. Alan and Ellie arrive at the sanctuary, and they meet Ramsay Cole, Biosyn's head of communications. He introduces them to Dodgson, who ensures that they are working on something revolutionary and groundbreaking. Alan and Ellie are escorted to find Ian giving a lecture. Afterwards, he joins them and discreetly tells Ellie that the locusts are indeed part of a sinister scheme by Biosyn. Meanwhile, Dodgson meets with Dr. Henry Wu, who has since become repentant of his actions in helping keep these experiments going, as he notes that the locusts have grown at a disquieting rate. In Malta, an associate of Dodgson's, Sonoya Santos, calls him to say that Macy and Beta have been transported individually to Biosyn headquarters. Owen and Claire also go there and reunite. With Barry, he takes them to a black market dinosaur ring where dinosaurs are being sold, eaten, or forced to fight. Claire meets Kayla Watts, a pilot who flies to the vendors. She warns Claire about messing with anyone there and tells that this is not a place for a person like her, but she convinces her to help Claire find Macy. As this happens, Owen and Barry stay unseen and witness Delacourt meeting with Santos to smuggle atrocious raptors. The two confront and fight Delacourt and his men. Owen tells him to say where Macy and Beta are, and he just gives him Santos a name before he gets eaten by dinosaurs in the fighting ring. Claire fights Santos and discovers that Macy is headed for Biosyn, and she outran a loose dinosaur before joining Kayla. Barry arrests Santos, but not before she sits one of her dinosaurs on Owen, who is riding a motorcycle to catch up with Claire and Kayla. He manages to board Kayla's plane just as she is getting ready to take off with Claire, and Owen uses the motorcycle to knock the dino off the ramp and into the ocean. Missy arrives at Heke and meets who he explains to her that she is not a clone of Charlotte's but her actual daughter, who was reproduced asexually just like Beta. Macy watches video footage of Charlotte and sees when she was pregnant. Alan and Ellie sneak into the containment room for the locust to get a nina sample just as Macy tries to escape. With Beta, Dodgson sounds the alarm, which causes the locust to swarm around Alan and Ellie, but they manage to get out safely. They meet Macy, who knows who they are. She joins them. As they run, they are found by Ramsay, who agrees to help them because he finds Biosyn's work to be unethical. He sends them away in a monorail to safety. Ellie tells Macy that she knew Charlotte as a student and says she was a brilliant and kind person. In the air, Kayla's plane is attacked by Quetzalcoatlus, forcing Claire to eject and fall into the trees after they rip. Her parachute Owen and Kayla crash into a nearby ice lake. They attempt to safely make their way across it, but are chased by another dinosaur. The two make it across just in time and head off to relocate Claire. She gets down from the tree, but has to quietly evade a pyroraptor from stalking her in the forest. Owen and Kayla hide as the T-Rex makes her appearance to eat, but she is held off by a Gigantosaurus, a much larger predator. They manage to get to Claire. Alan, Ellie, and Macy are making their way through caverns and find dinosaurs, attacking, prompting them to run until they make it outside. Meanwhile, Ian tears Dodgson a new one for his actions, and Dodgson fires him. Ian works with Ramsay to get back to Ian's friends. He helps them escape the dinosaurs by freeing them from the enclosure. Dodgson then sets fire to the locust lab to destroy evidence. The flaming locusts break free and begin flying out into the open. Alan, Ellie, Ian, and Macy attempt to outrun a large dinosaur in a van but are knocked down a hill. Luckily, they land near Owen, Claire, and Kayla, reuniting the former two with Macy. Claire also gets to meet as Biosyn starts to burn to the ground, forcing the employees to flee. Dodgson attempts to make off with his work, and Ramsay tells him off one last time. Before leaving, Duchen attempts to get away in the monorail but is cornered by a trio of Dilophosaurus, who make a meal out of him. Beta comes upon the heroes and is sedated so they can safely bring her along. They're also found by Wu, who has found a way to alter the locust DNA to stop the spread. Just as the group prepares their leave, the Gigantosaurus reappears, but it is then caught between the T-Rex and the Therizinosaurus. The humans flee to avoid the dino fight, and it ends when the T-Rex pushes the Gigantosaurus into the Therizinosaurus's claws. Upon returning to safety, Alan and Ellie rekindle their romance and later head to Washington D.C. to testify against Biosyn. Wu's work is a success and stops the locust spread. Owen, Claire, and Macy return home and reunite Beta with Blue. Before retreating back into the forest, Blue shares one last look with Owen. One final clip of Charlotte plays over society adapting and adjusting to dinosaurs on the mainland, with her noting that humanity will someday learn to coexist with the dinosaurs. Here this movie ends. Thanks for watching the video.